One day, while Buddha was doing meditation, a young man visited him. He looked very upset. Buddha asked him the reason. The young man said that his father had died a few days back and he could not get out of the sorrow, but he wants to perform the best afterlife rituals for his father, so that, irrespective of what his father had done in his life, either good or bad, his soul would go to the heaven. He further requested Buddha that when an ordinary priest performs some rites or rituals, the soul gains access to the heaven. And if a great man like Buddha would perform any rites or rituals for his father, his soul would not only gain entry but a permanent residence in heaven. He was so unbalanced and emotional. Buddha knew that any kind of rational argument would have no effect at this stage, but he had his own way of explaining the things. He asked the young man to go to the market and buy 2 earthen pots. The young man happily went to the market and bought 2 earthen pots, thinking that this was to prepare for some ritual. Buddha asked him to fill one pot with butter and other with stones and pebbles. He did all this. Buddha told him to close and seal the pots properly and put them in a nearby pond. He did so, and both the pots sank to the bottom. Buddha now told him to bring a stick and strike at the pots to break them open. He again did so, thinking that now the Buddha would perform a wonderful ritual for his father. Thinking all this, young man struck hard and broke the pots. Butter from one of the pots started floating in the pond, while the pebbles from the second pot settled down at the bottom. Then Buddha said, "I have done this much. Now call all your priests and ask them to pray for butter to sink and pebbles to float on the surface." The young man was shocked. He asked Buddha, "How is it possible? The pebbles are heavier than water and will stay only at the bottom, whereas butter is lighter than water and will only float. So, doing the opposite is against the law of nature." Buddha smiled and said, "Young man, you understand the law of nature pretty well, but you forget that it applies to everyone. In all his life, if your father had performed wrong actions that were heavy, like pebbles, then he is bound to go down, and no one can pull him up. On the other hand, if he had performed right actions that were light like butter, then he should go up, and no one can push him down." Young man now understood the law of nature. He fell on Buddha's feet and thanked him for teaching the lesson. Our difficulty is that we think that some invisible power will somehow favor us, even though we do nothing to change our own behavior pattern or our own action. When we understand this eternal law of nature that the fruits depend upon our actions, we will be careful about our actions. The law of nature clearly defines us that in life, whatever we do, either good or bad, we are going to get it back. It teaches us that every thought, word, and deed we engage in has a ripple effect that can impact our lives and the lives of others in meaningful way. The law of karma urges us to be mindful and intentional in our choices to sow seeds of positivity, kindness, and compassion, and to strive for goodness in all that we do. The law of karma serves as a motivational reminder to us to be mindful of our actions, to strive for goodness, and to take responsibility for the energy we bring into the world. So let us embrace the law of karma as a guiding principle in our lives and sow the seeds of positivity and kindness, knowing that what we will give out will ultimately come back to us. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.